Well, my goodness, I find this rather interesting. Now, tell me again how it's everybody else that moves the needle. Tell me again how Paige Bueckers moves the needle. Somebody explain that to me exactly. I would love to know.
Did you catch the NCAA Final Four ratings? They plummeted by 71% without Caitlin Clark in the lineup. That's right, around 10 million fewer viewers tuned in this year compared to last. That's not a small dip. That's a free fall.
And my goodness, the Final Four ratings, it is something else.
So, what does this mean for women's college basketball? Across America, the same fans who filled sports bars to watch Clark were nowhere to be found. Is Paige Bueckers now feeling the pressure? The gap in popularity between Caitlin Clark and every other player is impossible to ignore, and it's setting social media and sports talk shows on fire. Today, we're breaking down why these numbers matter and what they could mean for the future of the sport.
UConn's Final Four matchup this year dropped by over 10 million viewers from last year's matchup against Caitlin Clark and the Iowa Hawkeyes. Right there. 14.2 million viewers last year to 4.1 million this year.
Let's talk specifics. This year's UConn versus UCLA Final Four matchup drew 4.1 million viewers. Last year, when Clark's Iowa team went up against UConn, viewership soared to 14.2 million. That's a jaw-dropping difference, a 71% drop that's making TV executives scramble for answers.
In case you are not paying attention, that's 10.1 million less viewers compared to last year. 10.1 million?
When UConn lifted the trophy this year, something felt off. Clark wasn't on the court, and the crowd wasn't there either. This drastic drop in viewership proves something many already suspected. Caitlin Clark isn't just another great player. She changes the game entirely. Let's be real. This wasn't a random dip in the numbers, it was a complete retreat by casual fans. They tuned in for Clark, and when she wasn't there, neither were they. Even with two powerhouse programs fighting for a title shot, the excitement just wasn't the same.
It's funny, this is from a thread with, I think it's Serena Williams' husband. She was basically saying, someone said it's literally driven by Caitlin, I bet money on it. And then they talked about potentially making the bet. And I don't think anyone would have thought it would drop this much.
And here's where it gets really interesting. Alexis Ohanian, yes, the tech investor and Serena Williams' husband, predicted this exact situation. He said no other player could generate attention like Caitlin Clark. And he was absolutely right. His prediction wasn't just close, it nailed the reality we're seeing. And this wasn't limited to one game. Both semifinals saw a similar viewer drop. That means this wasn't about team loyalty, it was about one player. Clark wasn't there. So, neither were the fans.
There were less people watching than when Caitlin Clark played the year before. So there is a common denominator. And my favorite thing is like, oh, the only reason Caitlin Clark's popular is because of Angel Reese. Caitlin Clark with it versus Angel Reese. Caitlin Clark without Angel Reese. Double the viewers. Literally double. And then, ironically, Caitlin Clark's Elite 8 had 10 million, then her Final Four. The next game against Caitlin versus Paige at 14 million. Like, anyone saying it because of Angel Reese is like, it is one of the craziest things.
Just to give you perspective, 10 million people is a massive number. That's more than the population of New York City. Imagine packing every NFL stadium across the country and still needing more room. That's the scale of Clark's impact on women's basketball.
And it's almost underestimating the Caitlin Clark mania. Like, everyone watched that game. Everyone who has ever watched a game of basketball in their life watched that game. It was bigger than the men's final. Everyone who has anything in basketball was watching that game last year. Whereas this year's game was just another game. A good game. Like, UConn were exceptional, but it was just another game.
These stats say something that might be tough for traditional basketball fans to accept. For millions of people, Caitlin Clark was women's college basketball. Take her out of the picture and interest plummets. That's not an insult to the other athletes. It's a testament to how rare Clark's star power really is.
My comment a minute ago, I was addressing this comment right here. So the cult of Caitlyn doesn't actually like women's basketball, color me shocked. Or they love transcendent superstars, of which there are no others. Sorry, that's a fact. For a long time.
And now we ask the big question. Is this all about one player? Or is there something deeper going on? Basketball history shows us what happens when a once-in-a-generation talent arrives. Look back at Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. Their entrance into the NBA didn't just lift ratings, it made basketball a national obsession overnight.
I mean, most people don't watch sports unless you give them a reason to tune in. Caitlin Clark gives people a reason.
Those guys didn't just play, they performed. They made people who had zero interest in basketball become loyal, die-hard fans. Sound familiar? That's exactly what's happening with Caitlin Clark right now.
For a long time, it was only Magic and Larry. All right? Then Michael came along.
There's one clear lesson from basketball history. Generational players change everything. Magic and Bird weren't just good, they changed the entire culture of the sport. They drew in millions who never would have cared before. Clark is doing the same thing for women's basketball, and right now, there's no one else who can fill her shoes.
Now keep in mind, there were other real stars of the NBA at that time, but they weren't transcendent in the way that Magic and Larry were.
After Magic and Bird lit up the NBA, a new era began when Michael Jordan stepped onto the scene. Jordan didn't just dominate, he redefined the sport. As one basketball historian put it, he was like a mix of Larry Bird's grit and Steph Curry's flair, wrapped in the unstoppable branding power of Jordan himself. His high-flying dunks, intense competitiveness, and on-court charisma catapulted the NBA into global superstardom. Basketball wasn't just a game anymore, it became mainstream entertainment that stretched far beyond the court. Now look at Caitlin Clark and women's college basketball. The similarities are striking. Clark is that rare kind of player who makes non-fans say, "Wait, who is this? And why is everyone talking about her?" Her deep, logo-range threes bring to mind Steph Curry's shooting magic, while her flashy no-look passes echo the court vision of Magic Johnson. And the numbers back it up. The huge spike in viewership isn't just from die-hard fans. It's from millions of casual viewers who usually wouldn't give women's basketball a second glance.